Welcome to the space for transformational leaders to unleash their magic, see better client results, work lighter, and live sourced. Hello and welcome. I'm Darla LeDoux. I'm the founder of Sourced and author of Shift the Field. Today's video is about why hiring magical sourced leaders is the best. I'm going to share my personal experience here. First, I want to tell you, well, what the heck is a magical sourced leader? So here at Sourced, we hold a certification program. There's two levels, one-on-one coaching level, transformational coach, and retreat master level, where we train facilitators to work with groups and bring powerful transformation and bring truth to the table with their clients. Now, sourced magic is what we call your inner knowing put to work on behalf of transformation. Or it's what you know that you know, your divine guidance that helps cause transformation, helps create a higher consciousness. So when our clients are exploring their magic, they come in and they know that there's something about the way that they work that goes beyond the logical and the practical. A lot of times they have trouble knowing how to talk about it, how to value it, how to tell people about their work, but their knowing is really, really clear. We aren't traditionally taught to market that, and so it can be a little challenging. Here's why I love working with magical people. I hired one of our sourced leaders to help me with some interior design. Now I'm taking her course and I got a bonus one-on-one call with her, and we got on the call and I had shared a little video of my space right here where I'm recording this and talked about just really vaguely, very vaguely, a sense of what I wanted to feel. And before we even got to our call, she had messaged me back and thanked me and asked a couple questions about what I really wanted to create in my space. I have a really big office space in my new place, but it's not yet feeling settled. And she made one suggestion. And the moment she made it, my whole body relaxed. And I just knew that that was a yes. Okay. And that's my magic. But what her magic thought to ask is, have you thought about dark cabinets? Now, I have a kitchenette over here, which is going to be replaced and upgraded as I settle into the office. And she said, have you thought about dark cabinets? And my whole being could imagine the feeling of grounded safety with dark cabinets. I would have never, ever thought of that. Right? I have a lot of gold and white and kind of light colors typically in my space. And it shifted something for me. Now, we might say, okay, that's a design choice, but then we got on the call and we kind of explored a little bit more about me, my energy, what I'm wanting to create here, the energy of the land here as compared to where I've been before, how my energy is interacting with the land and the space and the house and, you know, what's upstairs and what's outside and all of that. Her magic could read all of that and knew what I needed to feel more grounded and at home in my space. Just like that. That is the type of magic that a sourced leader has. They have a knowing that goes beyond logic, that we help them ground into a framework and a way to offer it and sell it so that people can understand it. This is why you want to hire a magical person, right? Because I could have spent all kinds of time telling her about what colors I like, what I don't like, all of that. She could have gone through the color wheel and brought, design principles forward, but she brought her magic to me and what she knew I needed. Now, let me tell you, since that conversation, I have purchased a couple items for my space that are dark and they make me so happy. And I got a vision all of a sudden of what else I want to bring in. That's a darker color and feeling and experience. And I'm like lit up about the space now. And it was just like that. Of course, I had to be committed to really having my space support me. And there's a lot of places where I'm reevaluating myself and my energy and who I am, that this is the space that's calling me now. Right? I'm really in a transformation around it. Second story, I hired a sourced leader named Nico to create my website. I knew it was time to refresh the sourced website. I had built it during COVID. The sourced brand literally just launched during COVID, and I built it my best guess of what I was being called to do. And then over time, as I learned more about the brand, I knew I needed a new site, and I hired a magical sourced leader to support me in that. And there's so many stories I could share about this, but here's what I want you to know is when Nico was building a site, it's not just about a site that looks pretty. It's not just about getting a message a certain way or having an aesthetic look a certain way. She's actually looking at the energetic alignment between me and the site. So as pages were being built, as words were coming through that I was passing on to her and she was putting them on pages, there would be moments where her experience of the energy of the site was like it wouldn't actually let her create something until I cleared the energy about something, until I was deeply aligned with each piece that I was saying. So this is a process to create a site this way. And the level of visitors we've had to the site, the level of positive feedback I've had on my site, the people reaching out and asking me who did my site, I've never experienced this before. So the magic is her knowing of the energetic of the graphics actually, but feeling into the match between that and me, right? So again, and by the way, Nico in the beginning didn't know how to talk about the magic, how to only work with clients who appreciated the magic, right? Because that can kind of get in the way if someone's not willing to actually transform. It just feels like the site is taking a long time. Again, why I recommend hiring source leaders. Now, I have one other thing to share, which is I also recommend hanging out with sourced leaders, people who are committed to bringing their magic forward in service of transformation. So I have a couple stories to share about that. One is just hanging out with sourced leaders. I hosted an event last year, and some of our leaders who were going through certification were there. And one of our leaders named Christy, she does amazing nature excursions and plant medicine and helping people really connect with nature as a guide for their transformation. And I arrived on site and I was working on something. I had a project I'm working on, and I had pulled some cards from an animal deck. And I had pulled this card, the vulture, related to this project I was working on. And I was sitting with it, and vultures are all about transformation and dying and rebirth. And it really was resonant. And I had looked at it and I thought, yes, that really resonates. And then I kind of set it aside and I was busy with this event. And I got to the event and Christy walked up to me and she said, Source told me to bring this to you, right? Her magic told her to bring this to me. And it's a vulture feather. I should have held it for a prop. It's a vulture feather that she had in her medicine toolkit that she was instructed to bring to me. And it was just such affirmation of, go back to that card. This is the key to that thing you're working on. So being surrounded by people like that is amazing, right? That trust their intuition, trust their magic, and act on it. A lot of people out in the world would think that's weird. Source told me to bring this to you. Lastly, we have a couple of clients who just hosted a retreat. One client who hosted a retreat, and she hired the other client, the other certified source leader, to be her support person at the retreat. And they had an amazing time. Massive transformation took place. But what I want to share is each of them independently talk to me. I'm going to see if I can interview them for this channel about how amazing it was to be in the presence of a source leader, how they could feel that the leader's name is Sandra Goldman. She does writing retreats. And then Paige Rosales was her support person. And Paige could feel Sandra's embodiment of what it is to be a source leader and bring truth to the space. And the way people transformed, even people she would have bet money on were not going to get it, had a massive energy shift. So Paige was raving about it. And then Sandra likewise felt how it felt to be supported by another source leader who was bringing that distinction of knowing source was in charge here. We're facilitating. The clients are sourced. We're sourced. The experience is sourced. We know how to bring truth to a space. So Sandra, the leader, was beyond raving about having another person with this similar understanding be her support at the retreat. So I hope this is valuable. I know there's probably a lot of source leaders watching going, yes, I get that. I want that. I want more of that in my life. And for those of you who aren't as familiar with our work, I'd love for you to come check it out a little bit more, what it looks like to become a source leader. We have an event coming up in February, Shift the Field Live, where we teach some of the foundations that are the principles that we build our certification upon. So definitely check it out. If you want referrals to a source leader, we have that right on our website. If you go to sourcedexperience.com, up at the top, certification, hire a source leader, and you can see all these amazing people who are bringing energy shifts into all different areas of life, all different industries, right? Annette with interior design, Nico with web design, Sandra with writing, Christy does life purpose and personal transformation. And those are just a few, but we've got people in all different industries who are bringing this way of leading to the forefront. Check it out. If you like this video, please share, like, subscribe. I'm really trying to surpass 1,000 followers, so I'd love your support with that. And we'll see you soon.